Hi, I'm Dr. Robbins. You ever wonder where symptoms come from? Whether you have headaches, you have stomach aches, you have muscle aches, joint aches, can't sleep, trouble with the memory. You ever think about where those come from? Everybody thinks they're just normal. They think as we grow older, those are supposed to happen. We don't want them to happen, but we just assume that's normal. They're not normal. They are common. And because they're common, we look around, our friends, our neighbors have them, they think, oh, that's must be part of growing older. It's not because they're growing older, it's because it's more years of mistreating the body. And today we're going to talk about the major cause of why we have symptoms. What is the cause of those symptoms? That's all important. To not look at the cause, we're missing the boat and creating more and worse health problems down the road. To treat the symptom is like cutting the wires to a fire alarm. You know, I don't hear the siren anymore and I assume the fire's out. Not true. So I go to the doctor, I've got a headache, and he gives me aspirin and my headache goes away. We just sort of assume I must have had an aspirin deficiency. No, we don't. We need to get to the cause, because if we keep treating the symptoms and keep doing the same wrong thing that caused the problem, worse problems are going to happen down the road. What is a symptom? A symptom is actually our friend. The symptom is the body's way of saying, hey, you're doing something wrong. You're violating me. And this is the best I can do to try to keep you alive in the face of the bad things you're doing. Our diet in America is sadly lacking. And that's what happens with the body. When we deprive it of proper nutrition, it begins to fall apart. And again, we think that's just normal. No, it's not. It's because of more years of mistreating the body, depriving it of proper nutrition. There's two sources of toxins. Number one is in our processed foods. We've got all kinds of chemicals. Food preservatives, food colorings, emulsifiers, you name it. What's the problem with toxins? Well, when they come in, they are foreign to our body, and our body has to deal with them. That costs us. The body has to pay to eliminate them or store them. They interfere with our normal physiology. Things just do not work as well. What's the other source of toxins? Those are toxins that are formed in our bowel, that absorb from our intestine. So let me explain how that happens. When we eat a food, eat a meal, and how does America know when they're full? They're hurt. That's when they know they've had enough to eat. They overdo it. But we eat a meal, and here's how it's supposed to happen. We digest that food with our enzymes, break it down thoroughly. The nutrients then are absorbed into the body to nourish it. The fiber that came in with that food stays in the intestine and the colon, and then the body, the liver, dumps the waste products into the bowel. The fiber absorbs those toxins and eliminates them via bowel function, daily bowel movement. We should have one bowel movement a day at least, ideally, one bowel movement after every meal. Yeah, I know, that sounds crazy, but that's what it should be. You know, some people may have one bowel movement a day, but they're not doing good, thorough evacuations. Some people have a bowel movement every 3 days, some once a week, some more. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is the longer that waste material stays in the bowel, the more it's going to rot. And when it rots, it creates toxins. Medically, that's known as putrefaction and fermentation, the producing of toxins via rotting material. Those toxins then absorb into the body, and our liver has to deal with them, and the body as a whole has to deal with them. It's called autointoxication, self-poisoning. Do you know there are over 100 medical studies that on bowel toxicity? It's called toxic bowel syndrome. Many health conditions have been attributed to the poisoning from our own bowel. Dr. Norman Walker lived to be 109. He's considered the pioneer of colon health. He made the statement, death begins in the colon. But here's a quote from him. Out of 100,000 autopsies that I attended, less than 10% of the people had normal colons. That's astounding. Dr. William Hunter made this statement: the colon is the sewer system of the body, but with neglect and abuse, it becomes a cesspool of toxins that spill over into the body. Now I want to show you some x-rays here of a healthy bowel and a sluggish bowel. Here's the healthy bowel. You'll see the ascending colon, you'll see the transverse colon here. This is the descending colon, and then out to the rectum. Now here's the unhealthy bowel. Notice the ascending colon is up, then there's the transverse colon. Look at the difference compared to the normal colon, the healthy colon. It's drooping, it's prolapsed, and when that happens, that puts undue pressure, especially on females, on the uterus. But it can put pressure on the bladder, and especially the small intestine in there behind the large intestine. Also, when that bowel is drooped like that, fecal matter does not move through very efficiently. It gets hung up, it creates a sluggish bowel function. And then there's the descending colon and the rectum. Dr. Jack Lemire, who was a naturopath, homeopath, made this statement: most people are walking around with at least 7 pounds of fecal matter in the large intestine. This is above and beyond what should be there. 7 pounds. That's constantly producing toxic byproducts that are being absorbed into the body. And one possible thing can result of this extra fecal matter we walk around with causes that poochy belly. It's not always fat. It can just be the oversized colon from all that fecal matter. Toxic substance produced in the bowel can have damaging effects on our health. From the University of San Francisco. So when we're not having regular bowel functions and the waste material is rotting in the intestine, producing toxins, those toxins will absorb, and those toxins can go anywhere in the body. So literally every body part can be affected by this poison, its health be affected. Why is prostate in one person, uterus in a female, headaches in another? That's primarily genetically determined. We're all born with genetic weaknesses. And they're fine unless we start poisoning the body. And then the weak links get those toxins and start to fall apart. So what are we going to do about this? What is the solution? Well, let me tell you about a product called Experience. And believe me, it is an experience. Experience is not a laxative. It's composed of a number of Mediterranean herbs that have been around for hundreds of years, well proven. But what these herbs do, this combination, yes, it does help the bowel work more efficiently and more healthy like it's supposed to, but it does it by nourishing the intestinal lining, the colon lining, getting it back to health to where it functions like it's supposed to. Experience has got clinical studies behind it. It's actually listed in the Physician's Desk Reference, which is the textbook that 90% of doctors refer to. Very few natural products are listed in the Physician's Desk Reference. Experience is. I also mentioned earlier the other cause of disease and illness is nutritional deficiencies. So how are we going to take care of that? Well, the obvious one is we start reducing the amount of junk food and processed foods that have no nutrition in them and substitute with fresh and raw. And that's how I look at food supplements. So I want to mention a product called Daily Complete. It's an amazing product, all from fruits and vegetables, antioxidants, and any nutrient you want to name to cover everything that the body is needing to restore health. Daily Complete. Another product that I feel rounds out this whole story of helping the body return to health and maintain health, and that's called Synergy Defense. Synergy Defense. There's 3 prongs to this product. Number 1, it has enzymes that help us break down our food. Fresh and raw foods have enzymes, their own enzymes that are specific for that food. And we eat that. Our digestive enzymes activate the enzymes in the food. And the food basically digests itself with its own enzymes. After it's digested, we absorb the enzymes from that food. They go into the enzyme bank account, ready for the next meal. The average American doesn't eat anything raw, which is our main source of enzymes. So we eat all these cooked foods and processed foods, which have no enzymes, and we spend all these enzymes to process the food and no payback. So the bank account gets lower and lower. So we need some enzymes, and we're not digesting food. It's breaking down through a rotting process, which contributes to the bowel toxicity I mentioned earlier, whether it be heartburn or bloating, gas, doesn't matter, it's all digestive. problems, and when food doesn't digest, it rots. Secondly, it has prebiotics and probiotics. They do a number of things for us. They coat the lining of the intestines, protect it. They make all the B vitamins. They make natural antibiotics. It has everything to do with how well we break down food, absorb it, get that nutrition into us. And then the other aspect of Synergy Defense, it boosts the immune system, supports the immune system, all important to our health. So how are we going to get back to health? We're going to make lifestyle changes. We're going to start eating better. We're going to get more rest. We're going to exercise, stress management, and then we're going to supplement. We're going to get the bowel working like it's supposed to. All important. We're going to make sure we're digesting better. We're going to nourish the body back. So how do we do this? We use the products Experience, Daily Complete, Synergy Defense. I use them in my practice. I have for years. They work. They really do. A lot of those products in the market, even though they're sold in a health food store, are not what they're marked up to be. I promise you. So remember, it's the cause that we're after, not chasing the symptom. To do that only brings worse health problems down the road. Health is a gift. Disease is something we earn.